Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. Today, we're going to take a look at my favorite 10 tracks and a bunch of honorable mentions from a beloved American rock band. Of course, we're talking about Foreigner. You know, if you were born, in the late 60s or in the 70s and you were a fan of rock music in the mid-late 70s, kind of impossible to ignore the music of Foreigner. You know, they were all over the radio. Their albums were big sellers, playing concerts all over the place. A pretty big band for a number of years. You know, probably their popularity didn't start to wane a bit till like the mid 80s. But they've always been popular on the concert scene. So they're still going strong to this day, you know, albeit with a much reduced lineup based on their original lineup. You got Mick Jones still kind of keeping the charge of things. But of course, you know, Lou Gramm has been gone on vocals for a long time. He's been doing solo stuff. You got Kelly Hansen, ex of Hurricane, who's been singing lead vocals for the band now for well over a decade, doing a fine job, I might add. So, ironically, in a 40-plus year career, only 9 studio albums. Not a lot. They haven't been very prolific, right? So I'm going to go through my top 10 songs here. Granted, most, if not all of them, are from those first couple albums. That's their best stuff. It is what it is. But a lot of strong tracks from their other albums. I'm not really going to touch on those late 80s, early 90s albums because, quite frankly, I'm not a fan of them at all. Agent Provocateur is the last one I'm going to dig into, and I'll mention a couple tunes from Can't Slow Down, which is their most recent studio release, which came out now, seems like forever ago. But if you don't hear your songs in my top 10, doesn't mean I don't like them, all right? We all have different opinions on what we like. Your list may differ from mine, and that's totally cool. We all hear things different. We all have our different favorites. I'm not going to mention every single song they ever did. So if you don't hear your favorite, that's okay. Not a big deal. Feel free to post your favorite 10 or however many in the comments below, right? So let's get started here. So my number 10 off the Head Games album. A really underrated track and a real highlight on that album that they saved for all the way at the end. I'm talking about Rev on the Red Line. Kind of one of those songs that gives you a little bit of everything that Foreigner does so well. You know, the soaring hooks, it's ultra memorable, the crunchy guitar work, a little bit of proggy keyboards, anthemic feel. Just a great, great tune that I always dug a lot. From an underrated album. I like the Head Games album. It's a pretty strong album. My number 9 also comes from Head Games. How about Dirty White Boy? One of the, a kick-ass album opener. You know, we talk about, we're going to be doing a show sometime over the next couple weeks with some of the great album openers in rock and metal history, or rock music in general. Some of those kick-ass album openers, and Dirty White Boy, that's one of them. That's a heavy song. Kick-ass. That's just like, you remember back in the day getting Head Games and popping that thing on, putting the needle on there, like, whoa, check this out, huh? Great tune. Dirty White Boy. Number 8. Let's go back to the first album. One of the best debuts in rock history, right? Feels Like the First Time. I mean, how can you not love that song? Whether maybe you feel it's kind of overplayed or not. That's just a great tune. Great, great tune. Memorable as all hell from a classic debut album, which, doesn't really have any weak tracks on it. So coming in number 8, Feels Like the First Time. Coming in at number 7 from the Double Vision album, how about Hot Blooded? Another great heavy rocker from the band. I mean, the band actually had a lot of really good hard rock tunes. Okay, I know sometimes people kind of slack the band for, a lot of the ballads that they started to do later in, afterwards in their career. But, those first couple albums, man, have a good share of heavy rock tunes. Hot Blooded, of course, being one of them. And it's ultra memorable. That's what's so great about their music. Whether you call it hard rock or, there's that corporate rock tag that a lot of people like to put on some of those big American bands from that, the late 70s, early 80s time period. The big choruses and the heavy rock riffs and the anthemic choruses and stuff. But, man, it's like Foreigner, Journey, Boston, they wrote great songs. That's what it comes down to. Memorable songs. So Hot Blooded, number 7 from Double Vision. All right. For number 6, we're going to go back to the Head Games album. Got 3 from Head Games on here. How about the title track? That's killer. Love Head Games. It's majestic. It's grand. It's kind of proggy. It's heavy. It's got those great pop hooks. Just a killer, killer tune. I always dug Head Games a lot. All right. The top 5. Coming in at number 5, perhaps their biggest kind of prog rock tune. because a bunch of guys in the band were progressive rock fans, and for crying out loud, Mick Jones came from Spooky Tooth that did a little bit of prog, and hard rock on their end. How about Star Rider from the first album? A gorgeous tune. A gorgeous song, and they still play that live to this day. It's just kind of like this majestic, sweeping rock track. It's kind of got, kind of like a Moody Blues feel to it, right? It's just a really wonderful, wonderful tune. I always dug Star Rider a lot. Very different on that first album, right? Coming in at number 4, also from the first album, how about Cold as Ice? Dun, 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 dun. You're as cold as ice. Are you willing to sacrifice our love? I don't know. Maybe. A great song. Another one of their more famous songs. And again, from a terrific debut album that's got so many memorable anthems on it. That's one of them. Coming in at number 3. How about the title track to Double Vision? Awesome. You look at the title track, Double Vision title track, Head Games title track, both incredible tunes. I love when bands name an album after a song or vice versa and make that song like one of the most memorable on the album. Should be, right? Double Vision, a great, great song. Another great anthem. I mean, so many great, memorable rock tunes from this band. It's just that, everybody knows. Everybody knows. Double Vision, number 3. All right, coming in, my top 2 are also from the debut album. Coming in at number 2, almost was my number 1, which would have been a big surprise for a lot of you because it was never a single, never one of their most well-known songs, but it's a killer song and probably the heaviest song they ever did. I love the riffs on this song. It's just such a barn burner of a bruising hard rock track. And I just can't believe more like heavy rock fans don't know this song or don't worship this song like I do. I'm talking about At War with the World. I mean, it's just, if you've never heard At War with the World and you're thinking, God, Pete, there's so many other big hits you could have put in this top 10. It doesn't matter, right? I'm not just in it for the hits. I love all the hits too, but you know what? I'm more of a deep album cut guy. I usually get attached to those songs that, we didn't hear ad nauseum, and that's one of them. That is a killer, killer tune. A lot of times I'll put on that first Foreigner album and I'll be like, you know what, let me skip to At War with the World first, and then I'll go back and listen to the whole thing. It's just such a great tune. Like I said, I almost put it in at number 1. I almost did. But my number 1, I think I just like a little bit better. Long, Long Way From Home is my number 1 favorite Foreigner track. Another great heavy rock tune that's just so memorable, so catchy. Mick Jones, just a formidable creator of cool guitar riffs, and Lou Gramm, a great singer, one of the strongest singers from that time period, I think. It's a shame, kind of like what happened to him along the way. He got sick and his voice was kind of going. Hopefully he's on his way back. I know he's still out there singing again, which is great. Maybe someday we'll see a little reunion of the guys together, but, you cannot downplay the vocal work of Lou from, that first album through, like Age of Provocateur, certainly, Foreigner 4, all those great albums. So, Long, Long Way From Home is my number 1. So how about some honorable mentions, right? So let's do this. Let's go back to the first album. How about Head Knocker? All right? The Damage Is Done. A really moody, cool tune. Woman Oh Woman, Fool Free Anyway, and I Need You. I Need You's great. I almost had I Need You in my top 10. All right, so that's basically the whole Foreigner, the first Foreigner album, the self-titled album. It's a great album. Every song is strong on there. From Double Vision, how about Blue Morning, Blue Day? Another tune that I wanted to sneak into my top 10. I dig that a lot. Back Where You Belong. How about Tramontane, the instrumental? That's a really cool tune. I wish they did more of that kind of stuff. Lonely Children, another tune I love. Another cranking hard rock tune. Sits just outside of my top 10. Spellbinder, another great song. From Head Games, how about Love on the Telephone? 17. Blinded by Science. Strong tunes. All right, I didn't include any Foreigner 4 songs in my top 10, but I do like quite a bit of them. Nightlife is a great tune. All right, good heavy rocker. Jukebox Hero, of course. Probably the heaviest track from that album. It's a good one. Break It Up. Really catchy. I like Break It Up a lot. That, for my money, should have been a hit single from that album. because I think, Urgent, which I also like a bit, and that's on my list, was the really big hit from that album, and Jukebox Hero to a smaller extent, and of course, the big ballad from that album too. But Break It Up, I think, had all the elements that would have made a great hit single in that time period, but not to be. I'm going to win. Woman in Black, another great song, and Don't Let Go. All right, from Agent Provocateur, how about Tooth and Nail? Killer. Like that song a lot. Another great opener. That Was Yesterday. Of the two big ballads on that album, that's really the only one I dig. That Was Yesterday, I think, is a really good song. I Want to Know What Love Is. If I never hear that again, I'm okay with it. Reaction to Action. That's a good song, right? Stranger in My Own House and She's Too Tough. All really good songs. Let's skip all the way up to Can't Slow Down, all right? That's the most recent release, and again, I forget exactly when that came out. God, it's got to be at least 10 years now, right? Maybe not quite, something like that. The title track, Can't Slow Down, a very memorable song. For all of you old-time Foreigner fans who, kind of worship the Lou Gramm years and haven't bothered to listen to them since, I urge you to go check out Can't Slow Down. It's not a great album overall, but it's got some strong tracks. The title track, if nothing else, listen to Can't Slow Down. It's a really cool tune. Ready is a great song, and Too Late is also a very, very strong song. Those three are definitely, without a doubt, my favorites from the Can't Slow Down album. The rest of the album is okay. It's kind of mellow, but those are good. And there's some decent tracks on some of those other. I think there's 3 more albums I didn't mention, but nothing that I wanted to spend time on. I don't like any of them enough to warrant kind of covering here. So let's recap my top 10. All right. So coming in at number 1, Long Long Way From Home from the debut. Number 2, At War with the World also from the debut. Double Vision title track. Cold as Ice. Number 5, Star Rider. Number 6, Head Games. Number 7, Hot Blooded. Number 8, Feels Like the First Time. Number 9, Dirty White Boy. And number 10, Rev On the Red Line. There you have my 10 favorite tracks. Again, these are my favorite. I'm not saying they're the best Foreigner songs, but they're my favorites, okay? If you have a different list, that's totally cool. No list is right or wrong, all right? So curious to see what you guys think. All right, so put down some of your favorite tracks down in the comments below. Curious to see what you guys come up with. And visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. A lot of new stuff coming up. We got more top 10 song shows coming up in the days and weeks ahead. Best to worst albums. I'm trying to figure out, I got a couple rants I'm cooking. One that I'm going to do with the Seibert brothers, George and Craig. What else? We got some new product shows coming up, like probably tomorrow. All right, we got Neil Morse, Flying Colors, Hawkwind, Devin Townsend, Cats in Space. Jeez, I'm sure there's more. Tigers of Pantang, all sorts of stuff. This is mostly stuff that I've, kind of missed out on. District 97, stuff that I missed out on late 2019. I'm just kind of getting to now, so we're going to cover all that stuff. What else? God, there's so much stuff. Working on so much stuff, guys. So we're going to start, working on some history of shows too. So that's all kind of coming, just waiting for the New Year's and holiday celebrations to kind of, things are starting to die down. So I'm going to dig deep and start doing some other things. So, we'll get to all of it, right? So we'll see you guys real soon. Don't touch that dial. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.